Hello everybody, hope everyone had a good weekend. So we'll be picking up where we left off on Friday. To review, a variable is an unknown number. So it's a letter that stands for a number, and it can be any other number in the alphabet. And today we're going to learn how to solve two-step equations. So we're going to solve this equation I have here for practice on the board, 2x plus 1 equals 7. So to solve two-step equations, there's 3 steps. Isolate, solve, check. And what we're going to be isolating is the variable, which in this case is x. So we're going to be solving for it, and then checking to make sure that the number that we get for x fits into the equation properly. So, step 1 to solving this equation will be to isolate the variable, which is x. So does anyone know the first step to isolate x? Carly?
Don't you subtract 1 from
Correct.
both sides?
So since it's an equal sign, we have to do the same thing on both sides of the equation. And so to get rid of this, to isolate the 2x, we'll do the opposite of addition, which is subtraction. Minus 1. And you do it on both sides. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 7 minus 1? 6. Good job. And then you bring the 2x. So 2x, we have to further isolate that to get the x by itself. So how would we get the x by itself? By it?
Divide by 2.
Correct. So we divide by 2, because right now 2 and x are combined via multiplication. So to the opposite of that will be to divide by 2. And since we do it on this side of the equation, we have to do it on this side, so we divide 6 by 2 also. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1x is equal to x. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So we isolated 3 and solved, or we isolated x and solved, and we got 3. So the last step of the equation is to check to make sure this is correct. And we check by plugging this number back into the equation for x. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So this is correct. Does anybody have any questions? You guys got it? Good job. Okay, so we'll do one more example. This time we're going to use a different variable. So it's 3y plus 3 equals 12. So like I said before, the variable here is y, but we treat it the same way we treated the x in solving for it. So the first step is to isolate. So how will we isolate 3y?
Subtract 3.
Correct. So we do the opposite of addition, which is what we had here on both sides. You get 0. Over here we get 9. So 3y equals 9. So to isolate the y from the 3, what do we do?
Divide by 3.
Good job, Carly. So we divide by 3 on both sides. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, so 1y is y. 9 divided by 3,
3.
good job, y. So we isolated y, and we solved it for 3. And then, does anyone want to plug it back in to check for the last step of the equation? Yeah, Carly.
Okay, so 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 plus 3 is 12.
Good job. All right, so it's right. Good job, everybody. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, so that's basically how you solve two-step equations. You always isolate the variable by taking the number that doesn't have a variable and moving it to the other side of the equation. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you a chant on how to remember these 3 steps for solving two-step equations. Are you guys ready? So I'll say a line, and then you can repeat after me. So what do we do with a two-step equation?
What
do we do with a two-step equation?
We use a 3-step solution
We use a 3-step solution
for two-step equations.
For 2-step equations.
Firstly, we isolate.
Firstly, we isolate.
Secondly, we solve.
Secondly, we solve.
Lastly, we check
Lastly, we check.
by plugging it back in.
By plugging it back in.
Isolate, solve, check.
Isolate, solve, check.
Good. All right, one more time. What do we do with a two-step equation?
What do we do with a two-step equation?
We use a 3-step solution.
We use a 3-step solution.
The two-step equation. Firstly, we isolate.
Secondly, we isolate.
Secondly, we solve.
Secondly, we solve.
Lastly, we check. everybody?
Yeah.
That's the lesson for tonight.